Welcome all, Ben here from EWPRO, getting straight into the weekly outlook, looking at the DXY on the daily time frame. Like I've gone over many times before, I'm not convinced that this is the low. I'm looking at an A, B, C, a flat in here before we get more downside, possibly down to that 100 fib that I've been looking for. H4, we have this ball hidden here. So I'm looking at like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get a fifth wave up here breaking that top, and then possibly you could look for a sell to go and break the lows. But in the medium term, I am looking for another higher high here. You could look to buy this. It's mainly just for a scalp, but we're starting to get a correction here. You know, A, B, C in here, so you could look for more upside. If you got a buy set up in here or something, on the lower time frames, you could look for a buy to go and break the top. AU on the daily, we didn't get nowhere near this 100 fib here. We are getting bearish divergence in here too with this ABC up. So really just looking at the lower time frames, and whatever's happening here looks very corrective, so I'd be more interested in a sell. Yeah, you can see how choppy this is in here. It looks corrective. It has gone and broken this top here over here now, so we could start to look for a sell. There is no sell on it at this stage. No, yeah, there's not really a sell on it. Ideally, this goes up, breaks the top again, gives us some sort of a impulse down and a correction, and then we could look for the sell. Other than that, I'd be staying out of it. I wouldn't be really looking for a buy here at this stage because, this looks very corrective, so I'd be very careful with a buy. GU, we already have this like A, B, C up. I would have liked to have got a lot further up to that 100 fib. It never did, but it's getting very choppy in here. So it's pretty much playing out how I've been looking at it for a long time. I've been looking at this A, B, C, A, B, C. We're getting this C down. So, yeah, it's pretty much playing out how I was looking at it. So you're either in the sell or you're not into this wave C here. It's very slow, so you've got to be, very patient with it. Looks like we got another flat in here. You could look for a sell. But we have a flat in here. So if you get some sort of a 3 up in here, you could look for it, and then a sell setup, you could look for a sell to give you more downside. EU bounced clean off that 100 fib in the wave C, so that's fine. But yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes and breaks this low, because we do have a bear hidden in here between these two tops. So I'd be looking for a sell in here, the scalp, to go and at least break that low and then just see how far it goes. You can see that this is quite looking quite corrective in here. So yeah, if you got a sell set up, I'd be looking for a sell to at least go and break this low here. NU, quite disappointing this one. I'm looking for that A, B, and a C up in here. We've got a really large correction in here. Not sure where my count went. Oh, there we go. So I'm looking for this C up in here. It's just not going, and it doesn't look very nice on the lower time frames either. Like I've mentioned for the last couple of weeks, this is looking very corrective. Whatever's happening in here looks very corrective for more downside. So I'd be more interested in a sell, but you're selling right at a low too, so you got to be very careful there. But yeah, this looks very corrective. I'd be more interested in looking for a sell than a buy at this stage. Ideally, this does come down, breaks this low, and then gives us a nice impulse up, a correction. And then, I'll be looking for that buy for that larger C up. I'm more interested in the buy, but it's just not giving any buys. This is more bearish than anything by the look of it. GY, looking for this wave C down, this like A, B, get this C down. We did have 3 down in here. We may get a sell here. We've got this big gap, so that may get closed. This is starting to look rather corrective, or at least another one down. We may even be getting something on the lower time frame. I'd be looking at the M15 here. We got a nice impulse down here. If you get a correction in here, I'd be looking for at least 3 down. It's on the lower time frame, so you pretty much got to get it to break even at the break of this low here and see how far this goes. If you start to see it like reverse around the 100 fib, and give you a buy setup, well, you probably get out of it and either get into the buy or just let the buy go and wait for the next sell setup. I'm more interested in sells because we're up near that 100 fib. UY, it's the same as well. Whatever's happening in here, I'm looking at as corrective, so we get at least an A, a B, and a C down. So I'm just looking for sells, but it's just not giving us the sell setups at this stage. This is more on the H1. But we're getting this 5th wave up here now. And get this 1, 2, 3, 4. And get this 5th wave up. Once we get that 5th wave up, I dare say, get a nice impulse down, a correction to sell. USD CAD, I'm looking at this W, X, Y, X2 and a Z down in here. So again, I'm looking for downside, but it's not giving us the setups for downside yet. It's still more bullish up the top here. This is still more bullish. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not giving us any sell setups. So ideally now, because this is so choppy, ideally it does go up and breaks the top and then gives us a nice impulse down and a correction, and then we can look for a sell. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for the nice impulse down, correction, and then I can look for the sell. Other than that, you're just pretty much scalping buys. But on the lower time frame, the M15, you could look to buy. You got a nice impulse up, an A, a B, and a C in here, a flat. If you get a buy set up on the lower time frames, you could look for at least 3 up in here, A, B, C, scalp it. Ideally, it does go up and break the top, this top over here, for you. But yeah, It's just scalping if you're buying, pretty much. The Swissy, again, I'm not convinced that this is the low. H4, we've broken through this trend line here. I'm looking for a sell. But in the shorter term, we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here. And then if I get a sell set up on the lower time frame, then I'll look for a sell. But at this particular time, it's still more bullish. If you look in here, zoom in a little bit. So we have like 1, 2, 3, and we get a wave 4 and we get a wave 5 up in here. And then, if we got a bearish impulse down and a correction, well, then you could look for a sell. But medium term, I'd be looking for a buy in here just to go and break that top. And yeah, it's more of a scalp. And then I'd be looking for the sell. EG on the daily, there's really nothing to do here. We've already got these 5 up, so I'm waiting for this larger correction. There's 2 scenarios here I've been going over. We got the 5 up, so we'll either come down and break the low, or what I'm thinking is we get some sort of a larger correction than these over here, and then we look for like 5, 3, 5. So, but pretty much I'm sitting on the sideline until we get that larger correction. That's the safest way now. As you can see on the lower time frames, this would be cutting you to pieces in here. Like, you'd be getting cut to pieces trading this on the lower time frames. So yeah, I wait for the larger correction and then I'll look for the buys. WTI, I would really like to see this low here broken, like I've mentioned many times before. I don't think it has been broken yet. It got close, but it hadn't been broken. Ideally, that does get broken. There still is a chance that this does come down and break the low. It's getting a pretty slim chance, but we do have a bear hidden in here. So that this top here hadn't broken this top here just yet. So it may still come down and give us a lower low. Ideally, that's what I hope it does happen. And then I can go down onto the lower time frames, look for a buy setup. Other than that, because we have this nice impulse here, if it does turn corrective in here, you could look to buy. It's a little bit more dangerous because, like I've mentioned, I'd really like to see that low broken. This low over here broken on the H4 or the daily before I do start to look for long-term buys. But yeah, so there's 2 scenarios. It may give you a nice impulse down on the lower time frame and a sell setup to go and break this low with that bear hidden present, or it just gives you like 3 down in here and then a buy setup. Like you get an impulse, 3 down, correction, and then you get another impulse. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens in here first, and then you'll be able to trade it. Either way, I'm only looking for buys. Gold right up the top of the market here. You know, waiting for a nice sell setup. H4, we got the 5 up. We lost the divergence, like I've been mentioning. We do have a bull hidden here forming. So, ideally we get some sort of an A, B, C in here and then a buy setup. And then you could look for another buy to go and break the top. Until you got 3 down, I wouldn't be looking for the buy. You know, in the short term, I'd be looking for the sell. We got a nice impulse down from the top. So we wait for this correction in here. This is starting to look very corrective in here. So we start to wait for that correction, wait for it to finish, and then we start to look for sell setups for at least an A, B, C, like I just mentioned. Ideally, it gives us a larger correction. Yeah. Silver, pretty much the same as gold. You know, really need this. We got this wave A here, looking for this wave B, and then we trade that wave C up. So really need this B wave in here, a correction in here before we start to look for buys. Other than that, you're just looking for a scalp buy, you know, like I just showed on the gold. Silver's the same. We got an impulse down, we get a correction, we get 3 down in here with that bulk hidden, and then it may give us a bullish setup on the lower time frames, and we can look to buy just to go and break that top. It's really just scalping. Um, it's pretty much the same as gold. Yeah. Bitcoin, I'd be leaving this one alone too. We got that like 5, 3, 5 up again. We got a nice impulse down from the top here. So again, I'd be looking for a sell. So we're getting some sort of a flat here, like an A, B, C. I was looking at that flat there to come down and break this low. It still can happen. If I go down to the H1, you can see that it's more of a sell. So we got a nice impulse down here. And this is looking rather corrective. So if you did get a sell set up, I'd be looking for a sell. So at least go and break that low. S&P 500, when my internet kicks in. Right up the top of the market here. Again, you know, I mean, this is on the weekly chart. That's the second target. This is the first target at 123.6, and this is the second target at 161.8. It's starting to get up to that 161.8. So again, I'm more interested in the sells, but it's just not giving us those sells. You know, it's just not. So you're pretty much just scalping with the trend upside, but you know it starts to get dangerous. Yeah, I'm more interested in, you know, a nice impulse down breaking this low at this stage, and a bearish correction and a bearish setup to sell. I'm not really looking for buys up here. More interested in waiting for a sell. AU 200, you know, we got a nice impulse up, waiting for a larger correction, you know, and then we can start to look to buy again. Other than that, you know, you're pretty much scalping in a correction. So you got to be careful. I'd be looking for a sell, but there is no sell on it. We sort of got like one, oh, well, this is the low here, like 3 up breaking this top. So this could be some sort of a flat in here. Get another one down in here, and then a buy set up. Well, yeah. I'd be more interested in a sell, but again, it's not giving us sell set up at this stage. The FTSE, very similar to the other indices. They're right at the top of the market. I'm more interested in a sell, but it's just, there's no sell. Pretty much all you can do is like scalp with the trend, like on the lower time frames. You know, like you get buy set up in here, probably not in there, but probably a buy set up in there for that too. Yeah, you know, you're just scalping with the trend, and you're just scalping um at this stage. Lastly, the DAX. Again, this one's starting to give the correction. Like this one had that bulk hidden in here, so we were looking for that to go and break the top. It did, and now it's starting to give a correction. So we'll wait for this correction to finish. Ideally, it gives another one down here because we sort of have an A, B, C in here. So we get an A, B, C in here, finishing off the correction. And then if we get the buy set up, well, then we could start to look for a longer term buy again, like an A, B, C. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoy the weekly outlook and got something out of it. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.